right? So acquiring the properties that is variable in Java, and functionalities that is method in Java from parent class object to parent class object to child class object, right? So what is inheritance? Acquiring means getting the properties, the variable in Java, the functionalities, that is methods in Java, from parent class object to child class object is said to be inheritance, right? So here inheritance Telugulo aithe anuvanshikata antaru. Acquiring or getting the properties and functionalities from parent class object to child class object is said to be inheritance, right? So now assume that here there is a parent class. This is parent, right? So father class, yes, the class name is father, father. Father. Here this is child class, right? So the child class, the child one is, so the class name is child, father, child, right? So now here there is a generalization. This symbol is said to be a generalization is involved, generalization, right? So father, child. So here suppose the father has some a car, right? So however it will comes to child. If he has some building, so the building will comes to child. But suppose child has some bike, right? So this bike cannot goes to father, so the properties and functionalities coming from parent to child only, right? So this is also said to be a parent class, parent. This is said to be a parent or super class, parent or super class, or it is also said to be a base class. So parent class or super class, it is also said to be a base class, right? So parent, super, or it is also said to be a base, right? So this class is said to be a parent. Here child, here super అయితే ఇక్కడ sub అవుతుంది, super, sub. So base means here parent, super, base class. Here child class, subclass. Here, so this is the parent or super class or base class. So this is said to be a child class or subclass or derived class. So derived class, it is also said to be a derived class. So these are the other names, synonyms for your classes. So what we are acquiring? So we are acquiring the properties and functionalities from parent to child. Yes, some parent class to child class is said to be inheritance. Children, is it clear? Yes. So now here, what are the different types of inheritance you studied in C++? Yes, please. What are the different types of inheritance you have studied in C++?
Multiple, single, and hybrid.
Okay, first one is single. So next one is multi-level. Next one is multiple. And next one is hierarchical. Hierarchy means hierarchical. That means hierarchy means tree structure. Always you need to blindly remember it is the tree structure. So next, hybrid inheritance. Hybrid. It is the combination of this any, right? Any one of this one. Combination of this above. Yes, please. Who is talking? Yes, Gayatri. So now, so these are the different types of inheritance. So what are they? Single, multi-level, multiple, hierarchical. Hierarchy means simply you need to remember it is the tree structure. So hybrid is the combination of any one of above, right? So now these are the different types of inheritance which are supporting in C++, right? So supporting in C++. So whenever you come to Java point of view, so this multiple, right? So this multiple is not directly supporting. Control C copy. In Java point of view, right? So Control V. So here, so this multiple inheritance is not supporting, right? So next this hybrid is not supported, right? So now, so what is single inheritance? Simply the single inheritance is nothing but, so here one parent class and one child class. So here this is the parent class name, so the variables is salary, this is float type. So now a programmer is, you need to read, this is the generalization symbol. Programmer is a type of employee. Children, are you able to see my word sheet? Children, are you able to see my word document?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. So now this is the diagram. In this diagram, you can read it is programmer is a type of employee. Programmer is a type of employee. So now here this is single inheritance, only one parent class and one child class. So the symbol you need to read, it is the generalization symbol. Generalization symbol. So how can you read this diagram in the sentence form? So programmer is a, this symbol is, you need to read it, the symbol is programmer is a type of employee. Programmer is a type of employee. So here employee class contains some variable like float. So this programmer class is a derived class, right? It contains some variable like bonus. So now I want to get my salary. Suppose programmer want to get the salary. So regular salary, suppose adding the bonus. Regular salary, assume 10,000 is regular salary. The bonus is they given 2,000 bonus, right? So total 12,000. The programmer gets this 12,000 rupees, right? Now I want to develop a Java code for this one, right? So simply how can we write a Java code for this one? So first of all, you need to define this employee class. So now this extends, right? So this generalization symbol is there, then you need to use the keyword extends, right? So you need to use the keywords extends, right? So whenever you are studying about C++, in C++, the inheritance is, so class, child class name, child class name, right? So next inheritance symbol, so embody mode of derivation, base class name. So base class, so this is the syntax, then you need to write this code there. This is in C++. So whenever you are coming to Java point of view, so in Java point of view, simply the syntax, so child class name, right? So child class name extends, child class name extends base class name. So this is here the mode of derivation. Here we don't bother about this mode of derivation in Java point of view, right? So now here the mode of derivation we are don't bother. The default it will take the default access specifiers, right? So there are, so private, public, protected, right? So next default. So these are the four different access specifiers in Java. Access specifiers in Java, right? In C++ you have only three, right? In C++ you have only three, that is public, private, and protected only here. In Java you have one more, that is default access specifier. Right? So here in C++, if you are not specifying anything, so what is the default access specifier in C++? Children, so what is the default access specifier in C++?
Private. Public.
Private. So private is the default access specifier in C++. So whenever you come to this Java, right? Whenever you come to Java, so the default access specifier is default only. The default access specifier is default only. So the private data, yes, the private data can be accessed within the class only. Yes. So here the private data can be accessed. Within the class only, within the class. Suppose if you want to access this private data outside of a class by using the getter methods and setter methods, right? Setter methods, you can access this private data. By using these methods only, you can access this private data outside of a class. But in C++, by using a friend function, you can access in C++. So this public data, yes, the access level of this public data can be accessed within the package, within the class, outside of the class, outside of the class, right? So up to within the class, outside of the class. So next, outside of the package also, within the package, outside of the package also, outside of the package also, package beta good also, right? Within the package, outside of the package also. So protected data can be accessed, right? Its own class and its derived classes, derived classes. Derived classes, right? So default data can be accessed within that package, right? So default data. So once we complete the packages, so once we have completed these packages, there is a table, yes, a table to represent this 4 data. So where its access level, I will explain neatly after this packages concept. So the main difference between public and default access data is, so default data can be accessed within the package, but whereas this public data can access outside of the package also, right? In order to understand this point, you need to get familiarity in the packages concept. So after packages is completed, once again you need to ask them, so these 4 access specifiers. Children, please remember this point. After access specifiers, after packages concept is completed, then you may ask, so again private, public, protected and default access specifier. So now this much information is now sufficient. So now the Java inheritance concept is, just 1 second please. Hello madam, cheppandi. Madam, నేను 2:15 క్లాస్ లో ఉన్నా మేడం, 2:15 ఫ్రీ అవుతా. హలో, 2:15కి పంపించండి, 2:15 ఫ్రీ అవుతా. ఓకే మేడం, ఓకే రేపు ఓకే మేడం, రేపైనా పర్లేదు. రేపు నాకు 11:15 to 12:15 ఉంది మేడం క్లాస్, మిగతా టైంలో మార్నింగ్ అయినా పర్లేదు. ఓకే మేడం. Right. Children, please see the syntax of inheritance class, child class name. Children, is it audible? Children, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. The syntax is class child class name extends base class name, right? So you can write your own code here, right? So now this is your diagram. So where is your diagram? This one. Right, so this is your diagram. So now I want to develop its equivalent to Java code now, right? So how can you develop its equivalent to Java code? So now here this is simply, so class employee is the class name, right? So assume that the salary of particular employee is 40,000. So next here this is class 1, class is completed. So class programmer extends its base class, right? So programmer is the subclass. So here its base class is employee, right? So now here this bonus is a variable of this programmer class. Salary is the variable of your employee class, right? So now bonus is the variable of your child class. So now after this one, I am taking my main method, public static void main. So in this I am taking the argument list is, so now what I am doing, I am instantiating for this child class. Yes, so నేను ఇక్కడ ఏం చేశాను, ప్రోగ్రామర్ చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ కి ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ క్రియేట్ చేశాను. సో ప్రోగ్రామర్ p is equal to new programmer అన్నాను, right? So now I am instantiating for this child class. So after instantiating, after creating object of this child class, so next I am calling this salary, right? So here by using this child class object, I am invoking this the variable of base class p dot salary, right? So child class object toti parent class variable ni call cheyocha. What is the output we are expecting here? Yes, children. Yes, what is the output we are expecting? 40,000. Okay, so here by using this child class object we are invoking the base class variable like salary, right? Suppose if you are executing this output, you are getting 40,000 here, right? So next, after using the variable, same variable, what is the variable? Here object p is the object for programmer class. So now by using this child class object, I am invoking this child class variable bonus, right? So now it is 10,000. So 40,000 plus 10,000. So now it becomes to here. Children, is it clear? Any doubt in this program? Yes. Children, is it clear or any doubts in this program?
Clear, sir.
Class employee. So here I am defining some variable. The value of this variable is 40,000. So I am using this inheritance. How can you use the inheritance? Means, so call class child class name extends base class name. Here there is no mode of derivation. So int bonus, I am taking some variable like bonus. The value of this bonus is here. This is 10,000. So now this programmer class, yes, this programmer class knows both this salary variable as well as bonus, right? So programmer class knows this both variable, bonus variable as well as salary variable. Why? Means the salary is acquiring from employee class to programmer class. Suppose if you are creating object of employee class, by using that object, if you are calling bonus, that does not be invoked. Why? Means, so this bonus becomes a child class object. మీరు ఎంప్లాయ్ క్లాస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసి బోనస్ ని కాల్ చేస్తే రాదు, ఎందుకంటే బోనస్ క్లాస్ అనేది చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ కాబట్టి, రైట్? ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఇక్కడ ఏం చేశారు? చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ క్రియేట్ చేశారు. బై యూజింగ్ ది చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ యు ఆర్ ఇన్వోకింగ్ ది సాలరీ as well as bonus. So salary is inherited from parent to child. So now you need to save this program with the same name, employee. So select it, Ctrl C, copy, file, save as. So where we are saving our programs? So in our home directory. What is your home directory? Lab 123. Yes, employee. Your class name is employee, save. Okay, now employee, save. So where it is, you need to check once again. So it is available in desktop IT3 JP 4th sim lab 123 folder. Okay, so employee, save. Do you want to give Java extension automatically? Yes, you need to give Java extension automatically. So once you save this program, then what we need to do, children? Compile. Okay, compile. Command prompt. So now we need to move to desktop, CD desktop. So CD IT3. So now next in IT3 JP lab, I think. So CD space JP lab. No, direct. You can use direct command. So what is that? That lab, I think. So CD space lab, again direct command, lab 123, CD space, change the directory, lab 123, right? So dir cls clear screen. So what is my file name? Java C. ఏమని సేవ్ చేశారన్న చూడండి, ఏమని సేవ్ చేయాలి? ఎంప్లాయ్ అని సేవ్ చేయాలన్నా, ప్రోగ్రామర్ అని సేవ్ చేయాలన్నా? ఎస్ ప్లీజ్, ప్రోగ్రామర్. ఎందుకంటే మెయిన్ మెథడ్ ఇక్కడ ఉంది. మరి నేను ఎంప్లాయ్ అని సేవ్ చేస్తే చెప్పట్లేదు ఎవరు? ప్రోగ్రామర్ అని సేవ్ చేయాలి. ఇక్కడ మెయిన్ మెథడ్ ఉంది కాబట్టి ప్రోగ్రామర్ అని సేవ్ చేయాలి. Ctrl C, కాపీ. సో ఫైల్, సేవ్ యాజ్ ప్రోగ్రామర్. ఎందుకంటే మెయిన్ మెథడ్ ఏ క్లాస్ ఉంటే ఆ క్లాస్ నెంబర్ సేవ్ చేయండి బై డిఫాల్ట్. సో ప్రోగ్రామర్. సో ఫైల్ Java C programmer.java. I think it does not give any errors. So now programmer Java space file name. So compiler is Java C file name dot extension, or to run that program Java space programmer. So now the programmer salary is 40,000. Bonus of programmer is 10,000. Bonus of this programmer is 10,000. Suppose if I am instantiating for this employee class, right? So now ఇక్కడ ఎంప్లాయీ క్లాస్ కి ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ క్రియేట్ చేశాను. ఇది కాదు, చూడండి ఇక్కడ Ctrl V. సో ఎంప్లాయీ క్లాస్ కి ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ క్రియేట్ చేశాను. employee employee is equal to new employee. new employee. So I'm instantiating for this employee class. Then I'm invoking the salary as well as bonus. So now is it executed? Execute అవుతుందా? Children, please. Children, execute అవుతుంది ఈ program. Children, are you there? Yes, please. Children, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Execute అవుతుందా employee is equal to new employee అన్నాను. So now I am calling this e dot salary as well as e dot bonus. Objects యూజ్ చేసి ఇన్వోక్ చేశాను. అవుట్పుట్ ఏమొస్తే చెప్పండి. పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ తోటి చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ వేరియబుల్ యాక్సెస్ చేస్తున్నా. ఈజ్ ఇట్ అలౌడ్?
No.
No, it is not allowed. Save. So once you save this program, cls clear screen, java c programmer.java. So now it will giving this error e dot bonus. So why it cannot find symbol? So bonus is not finding. Why means, so this bonus is a variable for child class object. So the parent class does not know this bonus. This is a single inheritance or simple inheritance in Java programming, right? So here the keyword is class, child class name extends base class name. There is no mode of derivation. In C++, there is mode of derivation. Okay, right. So why we are using this inheritance? Cheppandi. So why we are using this inheritance, the basic application? Why inheritance? Reusability. Reusability. The main intention of this inheritance is reusability. That means you define method only once, and use it that method any number of times, its base classes, in its derived classes, right? So derived class. So the example is, suppose father has some car. So by default car comes to this child. So this child don't bother about to earn this car, right? Suppose the father has this building, right? So however the building comes to this child, so the child don't bother about this building, right? So whatever the properties and functionalities in parent class, that will be automatically acquired from parent to child class object, right? So father kuన్న ప్రతి ఒక్కటి కూడా child కి వస్తుంది. మరి చైల్డ్ నుండి పేరెంట్ కి వెళ్తా అంటే వెళ్ళదు. రివర్స్ ఇస్ నాట్ పాసిబుల్. ఫాదర్ నుండి చైల్డ్ కి వస్తుంది, బట్ చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ టు ఫాదర్ క్లాస్ ఇస్ నాట్ అలౌడ్, right? So this is said to be a parent or super class or base class. This is a derived class or child class or subclass, right? So now the relationship is, you need to read it as is a relationship. Suppose here one more example, file, so new, don't save. So this is flower. You take some flower class. Here one type of flower is, assume that rose is one type of flower, right? So now rose is one type of flower. So the inheritance here it is involved is generalization. The symbol is said to be a generalization. How can you read the statement? Rose is a type of flower. You need to read the statement is rose is a type of flower. So this is a base class, this is a subclass. Rose is, this class is subclass. Children, is it clear? Right. Reuse. Yes, you can reuse methods and fields of parent class. Moreover, you can add new methods and fields in your current class also, right? So here, suppose parent has some building. Yes, so child may have 3 or 4 buildings, 3 or 4 cars or bike, some extra features also, right? So this is the main advantage of inheritance. However, the parent class variables and methods will come to parent to child class. 2:30 after 2:30 I am in class. Come after 2:30. Right. So now So here the advantage of inheritance is reusability. Suppose some parent class have some methods, so in base class however that method will there, and you can add some extra methods also. You can add some extra methods also. So the here why we use inheritance means method overriding concept to achieve this runtime polymorphism. Yes, I will talk about this runtime polymorphism after this topic, inheritance topic. Next, for code reusability. Reusability means you need to write only once and you can use any number of times. So these are the terms which we are using in inheritance: class, subclass or child class, superclass or parent. Right? So reusability, as the name specify, reusability is a mechanism which facilitates to reuse the fields and methods of existing class when you create a new class. Right? So the parent class, the properties and functionalities will comes to child class automatically if you are using this extends keyword. The syntax is class, child class name, extend, superclass name. So methods and fields you can use it. The keyword extends we are using there. So this is a simple example. For this example, we written a Java program. Right. So now next is here, what are the different types of inheritance? Already single inheritance is completed, single or simple. So now this is multi-level inheritance. So grandfather, father, child. So child class, its parent class and its super parent class. So this multi-level inheritance. Right. So now here there are first level. Right. So here first level. This is second level. So first level single inheritance. One more single inheritance is involved. So here level 1, level 2 inheritance are involved. Then it is said to be multi-level inheritance. So third one is hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchy means simply you need to remember it is the tree structure. Tree structure. So this is a root. These are the two branches. Assume that. So this symbol is generalization symbol. Right? Here one parent, more than one child's hierarchical inheritance. So these three types of inheritance are directly supporting in Java. So next inheritance types like multiple inheritance. Right? One child class, more than one parent. Here. So this is class A, class B. This class C is derived from both of these multiple inheritance. However, the C++ is supporting, but Java is not supporting this multiple inheritance directly. By using the concept of interfaces, it is supporting. So next, hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance is the combination of above inheritances. So first they are taking what is this? So first up to here, up to this level. So this is two child class, one parent, root, two childs, hierarchy, hierarchical. Next, one parent, two childs. One parent, two childs. Here this part. It is the combination of above. Right. So now we want to write a example for this multi-level inheritance. Next we will go for hierarchical. Next we will think about multiple inheritance. Right. So now here I am taking simple example for multi-level inheritance. Class animal. Control C, copy file. Children, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Are you following? So class animal. So this is the parent class. Its child class is, it has some method like eat method. The implementation of this eat method is so eating. So next class dog extends animal. Right. So the first one. Right. So dog class extending animal. This is first level. So in next level, class. So here this is I'm taking one more level. So class assume that small dog, the name of the dog is child dog. Here we can take control V. So class child dog extends its base class, immediate base class. So dog extends dog. So child dog is sleeping, sleep function. So now we can write it is sleep method. So now here this is your main method class, right? So main method class, it contains your main method, right? So in this main method, so what you are doing, you are instantiating for this child dog class, lowest level child dog d is equal to, so new child dog. So by using this one, you are invoking barking method. So what is the barking method? It is eat method. First you need to invoke the eat method, super parent, next parent, so next sleep method, right? So what I did here, I'm creating object for this child dog, right? So after, by using this object, I'm invoking grandfather class, father class, and child class. Grandfather class method, father class object method, child class method, right? So next you need to close your main method, next you need to close class. So how can you save here text inheritance? So by using this name, you need to save it. File, save as, text inheritance, save. Yes, by default Java extension. So next Java C, text inheritance, Java. So run text inheritance. So now eating, what is this eating? Eating is the method of this grandparent class. So next barking is the method of this parent class. So sleep is the method of this child class. So this is the example for a multi-level inheritance. So next hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchy means you need to simply remember a tree structure, right? So a tree structure. So here this hierarchical inheritance. So I am taking this example. Control C, copy. So file, new Java program. Control A, Control V, paste. So class animal. So here eat method. So now here this eat method. Next class dog extends animal. So it's here dog is one type of animal. Next is cat. I am taking one more animal, that is cat. So next here I am taking this main method class. So what is main method class? Text inheritance 3, right? So now what I am doing, I am creating object for this cat class, right? So the method of this cat class is meow, right? So here the eat is the method of animal class. So by using cat class instance, I am calling this meow method as well as eat method, right? So now here file, save as, test inheritance 3, save. Okay, so Java C text inheritance e.java. Next Java text inheritance 3, right? So first the method meow method is, that is meowing. So eat method is the animal class. Suppose by using cat class object, you are calling this bark method, right? So by using cat class object, you are calling this bark method. So now its equivalent diagrammatical representation is, so paint, file, so new, don't save. So this is animal class, animal class. Here this is dog class. So this is cat class. These two classes are derived from this animal class, right? So these two classes are derived from this animal class. For this diagram, I implemented the code like this. So here bark method, bark is the method for dog class, right? Bark is the method for dog class. By using cat class object, I am invoking this bark method. So what it will do, it will use a compile time error. So now we will check it, compile time error. Java C text inheritance. Yes. So here cannot find symbol. Bark method is not a method of this cat class. Why means so bark is the method of this dog class. Children, is it clear? Right. So next we will go for this multiple inheritance. So multiple inheritance file new. Don't save. Multiple inheritance means here assume that more than one parent class, more than one base class. Here this is mother, father. Assume that here these are the two base classes. Here child is the derived class. So child is derived from here mother and father. Children, is it audible? Are you there? Children, are you
Yes,
there?
sir.
Yes. So child class is derived from here. Suppose here there is a method like study method. Ikkada study method ఉంది అనుకోండి. Right. So now if the study method is defined in mother class, so what is how it is defined? SOP statement is, so now the SOP statement is, so mother studied some BTech. Assume that. So mother studied some BTech. Right. So now father class, suppose the study method. Right. So father class study method is there. Right. So the implementation of this study method is MTech. Father class study method implementation is MTech. Suppose whenever the study method, yes, the study method will comes from mother class as well as the study method will comes from father class. So now child will takes whether study method from mother class or father class. That is the confusion, that is the ambiguity. Right. So in C++, how can you address this one? In C++, how can you address this problem, children? Suppose some method, same method came from more than one parent class. So in C++ it is possible. How it is possible? By using class name. Yes, by using class name dot method name. By using class name dot method name, so we can access. Here what is the method name? Study. Suppose if you are calling this study method of this mother class m dot study, yes, this will be invoked. Suppose if you are calling f dot study, father study method will be invoked. So this is totally a confusion now, right? So to make our program simplicity, yes, so to make our program simplicity, they are removed this concept. Yes, so they are directly removed this concept. Yes, ila unte remove చేస్తారు. So here directly is not supporting this concept. So what they are introduced, yes, if there is any method, you can introduce any number of methods. Yes, a method with a definition. Yes, so here the points here you need to remember. Here it is a method with a definition. Then that method is said to be చెప్పండి, concrete method. A method with a definition, that is method is said to be concrete method. A method without definition, right, then it is said to be abstract method. Right, abstract method. Yes, so here we can mention a method without definition, then it is said to be abstract method. You got, okay, study method is there, okay, you don't write the definition, then without definition, then it becomes to abstract method. Just you need to write the keyword abstract before it. So again, abstract. Yes, here study method in father class, abstract. Right. So now we are thinking about the multiple inheritance in Java. File new Java. So multiple inheritance in Java, mi. Right. So now I'm taking a class. So what is class? Class father. Right. So in this father class, what I am doing, I'm defining abstract method, abstract abstract study. Right, abstract study. Okay, so next class mother, abstract abstract study. Yes, study method. So without implementation, then it is said to be abstract method. With implementation, then it is said to be concrete method. Right. So next class child child. Right. So here it has the study method, public void study, right? So here, according to the child convenient, here the child studied SOP statement system dot out dot println. Child studied some PhD, right? So now here, suppose study method is there, but we are not writing any implementation. If you are not in implementation, then you need to write abstract here. మామూలుగా అయితే ఇక్కడ ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ ఎలా రాస్తాం SOP, రైట్? హియర్ బీటెక్ ఇలా రాస్తాం. But what we are doing, yes, it is not allowed in Java, right? So simply without a definition, then simply this method without a definition, then it becomes to abstract method, right? So abstract method, ABST RSET, abstract method, ABST RSET, abstract method. Children, is it clear? So in my main method, what I am doing, I am instantiating for this child class, right? Object for child is equal to, so new child. I am instantiating for this child class. So in this, I am creating object for this child class, that is new child. So by using this OC.study method, yes, by using this object, child class object, I am invoking the study method. So what is the output we are expecting here? Children, are you following? Children, are you there? Meghana, Gayatri, Aftab, Akshaya.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, what is my class name? What is my class name I given here? MI, multiple inheritance. So Java C mi dot Java. So where I saved this program, Java C mi dot Java. So file, Control C, copy file, save as, Control B, mi Java, save, clear screen, Java C mi dot Java. Abstract study, abstract method, return type is required. So void, abstract void study, abstract void, Control S, identifier expected, public spelling tappundi kada, public, where is public, 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 Control S. So compile your program, Java C, CLS, clear screen, Java C mi dot Java. If it is not abstract and does not override abstract method study. So if it is contains, ikkada chudandi class lo okati abstract method unte compulsory you need to mention abstract class, ABST RSET. So the class becomes to abstract class. Yes, a class contains only abstract methods, not concrete methods, then your class becomes to abstract class. I will cover after method overriding concept. Right. So next Java mi. So here child did this PhD. So here, so in our simplicity, they remove this multiple inheritance concept directly. So how they are introduced? By using the concept of interfaces. Right. This is the very important point you need here. So last classes lo నేను చెప్పాను virtual function, its equivalent method is abstract method in Java అని చెప్పాను. Right. So this class, yes, this class contains a class may contain abstract methods as well as concrete methods. Abstract method, right? So a method with a definition is said to be concrete method. Concrete method. Without definition, abstract method. If with a definition, concrete method. With implementation, right? So it is concrete method. Here it is only one abstract method, then by default it becomes to abstract class. This is a concept of interfaces concept. I will cover this interface concept after this method overriding concept. మెథడ్ ఓవర్ రైడింగ్. దీంట్లో ఏమైనా అర్థమైందా, మిస్టేక్స్ ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయి? ఇక్కడ బై డిఫాల్ట్ సెమీకాలన్ వస్తుంది, C++ లాగానే, ప్రాబ్లం ఏం లేదు. క్లాస్ ఎండ్స్ విత్ సెమీకాలన్, నో ప్రాబ్లం. ఎస్ చిల్డ్రన్, ఎనీ డౌట్స్ ఇన్ దిస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్? మల్టిపుల్ ఇన్హెరిటెన్స్. ఎస్,
No, sir.
no doubt. Okay, so next is we need to think about hierarchical hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance is the combination of these, any, right? So these are the different types of inheritance in C and Java programming, right? So next we need to think about aggregation in Java programming, right? So aggregation in Java programming. Up to now what we did discussed about generalization, right? So now here up to now we discussed about generalization. So now this is generalization symbol. Generalization is, you need to read it as the easier relationship. Aggregation means it has a relation. You need to read it as the has a relation, has a, right? So employee has some address. Example is employee has some address. So now we need to think about aggregation in Java. So if a class have an entity reference, it is known as aggregation. Aggregation represents has a relationship, right? Suppose if the employee is there, employee has some employee ID, right? Employee name. So next is, suppose if I am taking this address, so this address is a reference. That means it is in the form of another class. It is a reference variable. So it contains one or more object name address which contains its own information such as city, state. Ikkada chudandi, employee ID, employee name. So we are taking one more reference variable, so address, right? So it will refer, what it will refer? So city, state, country, zip code, right? So employee has some address, then it is said to be aggregation in Java, aggregation operations, right? In this case you need to use two classes. So when use this aggregation is code reuse, is also best achieved by aggregation when there is no easier relationship. Suppose if easier relationship is not possible, then it is used to code aggregation operation with code reusability, right? So now we will take a perfect example for this aggregation. So first of all, you need to define a class, public class address. So what are the fields? City, state, country. So I given this, so city, state, country. By using this is nothing but current class object, right? So here city, state and country values are given. So next I am taking some employee class. Employee class has employee ID, employee name. So the next field is address fields. This address fields is in the form of a reference. So address, there is one class address. For this address class I am creating some reference variable. This reference variable can refer these values, that is city, state, country. So actually you are taking employee class. Employee class has employee name, employee ID, employee name. So the third field, yes, so employee has some address. Address is in the form of city, state, country. So for that purpose I am maintaining one more class, right? So now here I am assigning this value. This dot ID is equal to ID name. This dot address is equal to address reference. These values, by using this address reference, constructor will be invoked. This value will be assigned. After that one, displaying these values. How can you display these values? By using this ID plus name, you can display directly. So next here city, state, country. So city, state, countries are the fields of address class. By using this address class reference, so small address, this is here address is the reference of address class. Small address is the reference of your address class. By using this one, so you need to print it, address.city, address.state, address.country. In main method, so what you are doing? So first you are creating object for this address by using these values. Next you need to pass one more here. Simply you can make comment. Employee is equal to new employee 11 Varun this address one field. So what is this address one fields? It will indicate this Ghaziabad, UP, India, right? These values. Next, you can display these values. E dot display. Then you will get this table 1 Varun, Ghaziabad, UP, India. These values, right? So now you need to take this program. So that is a class contains another class reference variable. In that case, you need to use as a relationship. As a relationship file new Java program, Control A, Control B. Where is your main method? Main method is here in main method here. Main method in EMP class. Control C, copy file, save as. Control V, EMP class, save. So now you need to compile your program Java C emp.java. Okay, ఇక్కడ చూడండి. సో నౌ పబ్లిక్ క్లాస్ అడ్రస్, పబ్లిక్ క్లాస్ ఈఎంపీ రెండు పబ్లిక్ ఉన్నప్పుడు కంపల్సరీ సో మెయిన్ మెథడ్ ఉన్న క్లాస్ ని పబ్లిక్ చేయండి. ఎస్, రైట్. సో దెర్ ఈస్ ఓన్లీ మెయిన్ మెథడ్ క్లాస్ బికమ్స్ టు పబ్లిక్. ఎస్, మెయిన్ మెథడ్ ఏ క్లాస్ కి ఉంటే ఆ క్లాస్ కి పబ్లిక్ చేయండి. జావా స్పేస్ ఈఎంపీ. Two public classes it does not allowed. Whatever the method, main method, where is the main method is there, you need to make it is the public class. So the problem is, so public class address, public class emp rendu unnai, but two public class it does not allow. So whatever the main method is available in emp class, simply you need to make it is public class. So now this is simply has a relationship in Java programming. Right, so I will share this entire document with you. Please practice these programs. Once you practice this program, then we need to think about method overriding concept in Java next class. Right, overloading we are completed now. Right, so in method overriding concept, the method resolution takes place at runtime. Method overloading, right. In method overriding Java, the method resolutions, resolutions based on runtime object. And this is very important point. So this is also set up a dynamic method dispatch. Method resolution means which method need to be invoked. So based on the runtime object. So what is your running object? So in method overloading. So the method resolution depends on the compile time. This is also overloading is also set to be compile time now. Compile time polymorphism. Right. So method resolutions based on reference type. Based on method resolutions based on reference type, right? So here I will explain this method overriding concept in the next class with the support of method overloading. These are the two important points, right? So after this one we will think about dynamic method dispatch. Dynamic method dispatch. So these are the concepts which we will discuss in the next classes. After that one we need to think about super keyword, right? So these are the topics which we will discuss in the next class. Children, shall we stop here now? I think we are running out of time.